is the only way I will ever use a dishwasher. It makes the perfect drying rack for us old-fashioned gals whenever the home you live in actually comes with one. I don't trust these things to clean a dish for nothing. I prefer the old-fashioned hand and rag process of washing your own dishes. Makes a perfect drying rack though. Today is a busy day inside the kitchen. I washed up my dishes. And now I'm actually jarring up some beans. And y'all, beans is one of the easiest things y'all can jar up. Honestly. I'll have to do a video on that one day. But these are quarts. And I've got them sitting in my canner right now. And I'm fixing to jar us up some beans. You know, jarring up food doesn't stop in wintertime for the most of us. Anyway, let me just put it that way. It slows down, but you can always jar up some food all throughout the year. It doesn't matter what it is, you can jar it up. Well, I mean, it matters what it is, but what I'm saying is, whatever you usually jar up, you can jar up, you know, whenever. So today is beans. About a few days ago, a handful of days ago, it was carrots, taters, and onions, or just carrots. So don't think because wintertime's here that, you know, you can't jar up food. You can jar up food anytime throughout the year. Depends on what it is, of course, but beans anytime throughout the year. Here also is a quick tip for those of y'all that jar up your own food, or what everybody calls canning, I call jarring. This little valve right here, if you have, I think this is a Presto. Yeah, it's a Presto pressure canner. From time to time, these little rascals right here, whenever you're pressure canning your food, will get stuck. And they will make the loudest screeching noise. And it ain't like you can just turn it off during, you know, middle of the process. And it will drive you nuts. You'll like take a knife and kind of, you know, maneuver around it, try to get it unstuck right there where it wouldn't whistle. I mean, I'm talking about screeching whistle. So what I've come to see is I take a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit of olive oil, and I'll take it and pour it right there amongst the crevices in that little circle, and I kind of lather that little thimble right there all the way around it with olive oil. And then I'll also flip it this way, this direction, and you see it kind of hanging down there. That's the part that comes up. But I also put a little bit of olive oil around that part too. Not a lot, just a little bit. And that has helped me to keep the screeching, or make the screeching go away. So that's just a quick tip for those of y'all that pressure can, because it can get so aggravating. And I'm sure there's other folks with different tips too. And of course, I appreciate any of them. But that's something I've come to gather about, and that helps me keep that screeching down whenever I'm pressure canning for, like, you know, 70 minutes or 75 minutes, 90 minutes, or whatever. The beans are going to be pressure canned because they're quarts for 90 minutes today at 11 pounds of pressure. And if it goes up a little bit, you know, give or take 12, 13, I babysit it, but I always try to keep it between 11 and 12 pounds of pressure. And for 90 minutes, you know, you don't want this thing screeching and you having to go crazy listening to it. So there's a little quick tip for you on that. Now over here is my very large stash of jarring lids, can lids, whatever, or bands. I'm sorry, bands. These have all been used, and I've been collecting them in a bowl and a pitcher, you know, pitcher for, you know, tea, lemonade, whatever. And so I've got to tackle these one day coming soon, and I'm just highly dreading it. Because you've got to wash every single rim around there, because, you know, a lot of them ain't sticky, but they've been used, and you need to just clean them. And you don't need to set them somewhere just to dry, because a lot of times they can rust. You have to pretty much dry them after you wash them. Now this is going to be quite some time, but I've got to dedicate a day or morning or sometime, at least an hour, to this, and wash all of these bands and rinse them and dry them. And I'll show you what I do with a lot of them, because they really take up a lot of room. These are some that I've done, and I've just tied them and put them on twine, you know, and they're ready to go. That's some comfrey right there from my little herb patch earlier this year that's dried. I should have put it up, but that's what it is. That's comfrey. But I'm gonna actually leave these here, but take the other ones and put them in my little pantry, my cupboard room. I call it my pantry, my cupboard room. And put them in there, but hang them like this so I can have them when I need them. And try to get your sizes together. That way, you know, you ain't battling your wide mouths with your regular mouths. And over here, this is my tackling thing for the day. I've got my beans fixing the processing over yonder. And while, you know, anytime you have anything in a pressure canner, you need to babysit it. Don't walk away from it, okay? And if you gotta walk away, make sure it's been pretty elevated for a while at the time, the poundage. And you know, 5 minutes tops. Don't stay away from it. So I needed something to do in the house while my beans are processing. So I was like, you know, this is my work table. And it is cluttered to the max. And I can't stand clutterment because it makes my whole days feel cluttered. So I'm fixing to tackle this and clean this off and organize it. I've got anything from knitted hats to crocheted little darlings right there, to my sewing stuff back yonder, to my Centro knit machine, little projects I've made. That's my little kitty bag, project bag. And of course, more yarn. That's a given. And I had to stop by Dollar General yesterday to get me some more totes. I usually get the bigger ones, the ones that are longer than this, but they just did not have them. And what they had was the solid color ones, and I like to see my yarn. I like to see what's in it and not have to go fishing for it. So, you know, I got these. That's about 99% of Caron yarn in there, and 95% of that's Caron Simply Soft. And there's some colors in there I ain't showed y'all yet, but I will, because I got some more to come in. And then down yonder, pair of dirty socks, this is my cotton yarn tote. And I think I got one of £1.11 yonder too that I just got in. I'll show you my new yarn in a different video. But yeah, I've got to tackle this hoo-ha today. And it's going to be interesting. Oh, that right there, that's a book I got on different deities, so I don't, you know, when you're walking the truth and the way in Yahuwah, he commands us not to say or let other deities' names come off or be spoken out of your mouth or off of your tongue. So this book here, you go through it, and it tells you a lot of the deities' names that people worship back in the days and stuff, and you'd be surprised how many common English words we use every day is in that book that is a deity's name. That I show my husband and my youngin', and we won't use those words anymore. I don't care what kind of word we have to use to get around it. We won't use those deities' names. So that's part of my studying, so we won't say the other deities' names off of our tongue. So that's where that is. But yeah, that's a cute little cowgirl crochet hat I made out of some cotton yarn from Dollar General a while back, but it looks better when I show it to you. I'll show it to you later. But yep, that's what I'm doing today, is organizing. I know a lot of y'all women, you go through this. You have a work table that just piles up everything. and this is mine here in the house. So my goal is to eventually get my little barn completed on the inside and move this work table out yonder, and then I'll have this space back in our living room to be open and be useful for something else. So yeah, and there's my oil lamp. I love oil lamps. I just love them. So yeah, anyway, I just want to share that with you, because I know there's a lot of you women folk out there that have the same issues. And you like to see the people with the same issues, and you like to see what they're going to do with their things. But this tote right here is for my material, because I sew. And I've got a real pretty skirt amongst all that in there too, I'm going to show you. But that's what I'm doing today. But I will share another video about my yarn, some more yarn I got in, and some real pretties that I've actually crocheted throughout, you know, a while. And then I've also got 2 Carol and Simply Soft garments over there, little girl garments that I'm working on, and they're just darling, just darling. So thank y'all to all y'all folk out there that watched my last video, my yarn video, Carol and Simply Soft, and in your comments. I haven't had the chance to get to them yet, but I will. I greatly appreciate it, and I was surprised about how many folks actually would like that video. I actually kind of questioned sharing it or not, but you know, I'm glad I did. And yep, that's pretty much it. Don't want to ramble too much more. It's a beautiful day outside that our Creator Yahuwah has made, and I want to get out in it. So I've got to accomplish this first and get my beans done, and I can go enjoy some time outside in the winter time here on Hilltop Hollar. It's beautiful. Y'all remember, Yahuwah is the name of our Creator. Look that up. Look into it. And just, you know, make sure that truth is your #1 search these days. Shalom from Hilltop Hollar, y'all. Halal'YAHUAH.